What's up, comic book fans? My name is Bruce Monroe and welcome back to the channel. But before we get into the meat of today's episode, I did want to ask you guys a question. Do you guys like this setup? I mean, what do you guys think? Do you prefer this one? Or do you prefer the one from my intro video? Let me show you guys a quick clip. Alright, so what do you guys think? Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. Alright, so in today's episode, I will be reviewing the books that I picked up on April 10th, 2019. And what are those books, you say? Or you ask? Let me tell you. I picked up Batman 68, The Batman Who Laughs, number 4, Detective Comics 1001, The Flash 68, Asgardians of the Galaxy 8, The Amazing Spider-Man 19, and X-Force number 6. Alright guys, so first up we have Batman 68. This was written by Tom King and art by Amanda Connor. This was an excellent book. The reason why I say that is because Tom King has done a great job ever since he picked up or started writing this book of having issues where they focus on Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent and Selina Kyle and Lois Lane, and he takes the human element and gives it time to shine, and that's what this issue does. It's all about Lois Lane and Selina Kyle going on a bachelorette party, and Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent doing the same. And there's a twist at the end where you find out it's really not what was going on, but it was such a good issue. It was written beautifully. The story of Selina and Kyle was so fun, and it was really funny to see Bruce and Clark interact together, not as Batman and Superman. It was just a really fun read. The art was also great. It was a little cartoony, but solid, and I really enjoyed it. So overall, I would definitely recommend you guys picking up this book. I think we're getting really close to the storyline where it's going to focus on Bane's finally going to show himself and how he's been twisting Gotham City and Batman and everything that's going on in Batman's life. So I'm really excited to see that happen. Is this a pickup, a jumping in issue? No, at this point, the story's so far along, you probably want to wait for the trade. All right, up next, we have The Batman Who Laughs, number 4. This is written by Scott Snyder and art by Jock. Jock is such a fantastic artist. He's so great. He's so perfect for this book. Before we get into that, this is the 4th issue of this miniseries, which focuses on the Batman Who Laughs, which comes from Dark Knight Metal. I don't want to get too much into it, but the Batman Who Laughs is kind of like a Joker version of Batman, who's super evil. He's twisted, he's sadistic, and he comes from the dark multiverse. It's a completely messed up, dark version of our universe. It's where so many crazy things have come from. And this story focuses on him and Batman trying to capture him and bring him down, and the twisted things that Bruce has to do to try to combat. Since, you know, the Batman Who Laughs is a Bruce Wayne, and he's a Bruce Wayne, so they know everything about each other, how far our Bruce Wayne Batman needs to go to try to combat himself, basically. A twisted version of himself. It's a great story. It's been great ever since Scott Snyder introduced this character all the way back in Dark Knight Metal. So yeah, it's a definitely great read. The art, like I said, is fantastic. Jock brings out the craziness in Bruce Wayne's eyes as he's like slowly turning himself almost into the Batman Who Laughs, and it's great. It's beautiful. It's violent. It's really fun. Would I pick this up? Definitely. This is an amazing series so far. Issue 4 is not in a jump-in issue, but this is definitely, since it only is issue 4, you can definitely go back and pick up the other issues. I actually saw at my local comic book shop, they had all issue 1, 2, and 3 all on the shelf right next to issue 4, so it's easy to pick up all 4 books and get caught up, and you guys will enjoy this book, I promise. Alright, what's next? We have Detective Comics 1001. It's crazy. 1001. It's totally nuts. But this was written by written by Peter J. Tasami and art by Andrew Hennessy and Bradley Walker. So this is picking up from the very last story in Detective Comics 1000, where they kind of they teased crap, I'm forgetting of his name. Arkham Knight. They teased Arkham Knight, and this is launching the Arkham Knight first arc. And so at the very beginning of the book, they're introducing them, and I believe his group of zealots is called the Knights of the Sun. And so yeah, they're just introducing that, getting the story arc started. It was pretty fun. I'm interested to see where it goes. It wasn't super intriguing. It wasn't like bonkers or anything, but I'm definitely interested to see where this goes. The art was okay. I didn't really love it. It was a little thick, and the lines were a little thick. I mean, and it's, I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it, the art, that much, but overall, the book was interesting enough. It's Detective Comics 1001. I'm going to continue reading it. It's also Batman's my favorite superhero, so I'm going to continue reading it. Would I recommend it? This is a great jumping in point, so maybe, yeah. I mean, if you're interested in Batman to see what this Arkham Knight character is, pick it up. Up next, we have The Flash 68. Look at that cover, guys. That cover is amazing. So this is written by Joshua Williamson, and it has art by Christina Christina Deuce Fernandez. The original cover was by Dan Moore, and this amazing variant cover is by Mitch Gerard. That is the main reason why I picked up this book. I had read some of my friends' Flash series to get caught up to this book because I wanted to see what was going on. This is a story all about the Trickster. Not this issue, but this current arc is about the Trickster, the original one. And I gotta tell you guys, it's really not good. It's not that solid of a story. It's not a bad story. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes the Flash is either really good and it's fun and exciting and it's, for lack of a better word, fast-paced and it's fun. And sometimes it's just like, I don't know. His villains can sometimes be really corny, and what they're dealing with now with like the Speed Force, well, he's always dealing with the Speed Force, but now they have the Strength Force and the Still Force and the Sage Force, and they're dealing with all these different forces that are like competing with the Speed Force. I don't know. It's in the world of superheroes. Sometimes I'm just like, oh my god, this is too much, and that's what I kind of feel like this is. It's just like the story's too much. I'm excited for this whole Speed Still, all these extra forces to go away. The art too in this book, again, it's like one of those art styles I just really don't like. It's really sketchy, kind of. Doesn't feel like finished art in a way. Also, the colors are just kind of bland. I don't know. I didn't love the inside of the book, but oh my god, look at that cover. That cover is so good. I would not recommend this book unless you're a huge Flash fan and you want to keep up with Flash. Obviously, pick it up. But for non-Flash fans, this is not a point to jump into the Flash. All right. Up next, Asgardians of the Galaxy number 8. This is written by Cullen Bunn and art by Matteo Lillo. Sorry if I butchered that. So I've been picking this book up for a while. Well, this is the 8th issue, and the only reason why I picked this up is because I've been loving the Thor run, and this is a team of Thor-themed characters, and that's the only reason why I've been picking up this book. It's pretty, well, I shouldn't say Thor, it's Asgardian-themed characters, and it's fun. It's a little corny, and you find out at the beginning of the book that the team was formed by Kid Loki, who is kind of like a fragment, I believe, of the real Loki. And he's, I guess, less of a trickster, and he's always usually trying to do good. But overall, this book is fun, and this is tying into the War of the Realms, which is another reason why I picked it up, since I've already been reading the first 7 issues. The issue as a standalone, it wasn't really that great. And again, I don't totally love any of the characters. I'm not like attached to any of them. But I mean, there's Throg. He's a frog Thor. It's just amazing. I don't know. It's fun. It wasn't the best read. I'm excited to see what happens to these characters throughout the War of the Realms. I'm sure one or two might die. But it's a fun book. Would I recommend it? Maybe not this issue, but if you're currently picking up all the rest of the issues, this is just as good as the rest of them. It was fun. Is it a jumping in point? This actually kind of is a good jumping in point because I just wrapped up the previous arc in issue 7, and since this is dealing in the War of the Realms, if you're reading War of the Realms, I would definitely pick this book up. Alright, next up I have The Amazing Spider-Man 19. This is part 3 of the Hunted storyline. This is written by Nick Spencer and art by Gerardo Sandoval. This was an okay book. Obviously, if you guys have watched any of my other videos, I have been reading Spider-Man this whole run, and so I'm not going to stop now. And I've loved everything up to this point, especially of the Hunted stuff. So this is probably the weakest of all of the Hunted stories so far. That's including the little side stories that they've been telling. Like next week, I believe the 19.hu comes out. So. Yeah, this was just an okay story. It wasn't wonderful. What I think my problem with the story was it just didn't move the story that far along. A lot of it was revolved around the Vulture gathering all the villains that were inside of the dome into like one little cave, and he was trying to like get them all to fight for him and, you know, probably protect his own butt. So, I don't know. It's obviously leading somewhere. It just didn't move the story far enough along for me to really like it. But it's a good story. Definitely pick it up if you're reading Hunted stuff, because again, it was a solid read. But is this a good jumping in point? No. I would definitely suggest go picking up at least 17 and 18 before jumping into this book. All right, last up, guys. X-Force number 6. This is written by Ed Brisson and art by Damian Cusero. This was a good book. It was a little slow for me, mainly because this was... Okay, let me just start over again. This was an interesting book because it's a story told from the eyes of the villain, which is Strife. And it's always interesting when you get a book when it's told from the perspective of someone other than the hero. Because so many, like, you know, probably 80-90% of most books are told from the perspective of the hero, and we never get to see the true perspective of the villain. So it's interesting in that way. Overall, the story wasn't amazing, but we're getting the whole story of how... or the other side of the story of how, so young Cable who was from the future, went back in time. But before he went back in time, we find out who he was fighting, Strife, and how Strife, what he had done to also set up the whole beginning of this story arc, which started back on issue 1. So it's kind of interesting to get that whole backstory from the villain side, from issue 1 all the way up to issue 6. So that was actually kind of interesting. It wasn't a great read, but overall, like I said, it was a really interesting read. The art was great. I really like the art. The art by Damian is really solid. I really enjoyed his last book, so I'm glad he's still drawing on this book. And that cover, oh my god, look at that cover. This cover is so great. Pepe Larraz. Pepe, I'm just calling Pepe. Pepe, your art is gorgeous and so beautiful. And he's done all the covers for all these books, and it's one of the main reasons I'm picking up these books. These covers are just crazy. Is it a good jumping on point? Not really, because I think you'd be a little confused what would be going on, especially in this issue if you hadn't read the previous 6 issues. But they're probably going to put this in a trade relatively soon. So if you are interested, probably just wait like a month or two and you can probably pick this up in trade. All right, that's the end. Hopefully this is much shorter than my last video. My last video was 26 minutes. I'm so sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to ramble on so much, but I was trying to give you guys a little backstory, but I realized I was giving you guys too much backstory. But yeah, it was a pretty slow week in books this week. They were overall mediocre. There wasn't anything that was really amazing, but it wasn't a disappointing week. Next week, guys, though, I have so many. I think I have a total of 11, which is 4 more than I usually do. And there's some really good stuff in there. I picked them up today. Yeah, I'm really excited. We have War of the Realms 2. We have Thor. I don't know what issue it is, but of course it's going to deal with War of the Realms. We got a lot of War of the Realms stuff going on. It's a good decent. I have 3 indie books. Little Bird number 2, which I'm pumped about. Yeah, there's some really good books for next week. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. If you guys like this content, you guys know what to do. Smash that like button. Also get subscribed to make sure you guys are notified or subscribed and hit that bell notification. So that way you guys are notified when I upload my next videos. And again, guys, please let me know if you guys like the setup. Totally willing to try something else if you guys don't like the setup. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. All right, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. See ya.